Depression is not a personal failure. Give yourself permission to take it easy. Why is depression seen as weakness? It has been shown that our cultures, environment, society can lead us into depression. Why? Because they don't validate our deepest thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. So, therefore, when people are depressed, they tend to isolate and become afraid of the world. In this article, so many in the West are depressed because they are expected not to be depressed. Brock Bastion mentions sadness is no longer an expected feeling you have when things go wrong. Sadness is interpreted as a sign of failure. Today, I will persuade you on why depression is seen as weakness. Based on the article, so many in the West are depressed because they are expected not to be. Brock Bastion mentions depression is a modern health epidemic that is also culture specific. For instance, they expect you to deal with whatever the situation is and bounce back, but that is not the reality. Depression is a serious disease. Depression is a serious disease that our cultures and society don't want to accept. Secondly, people with depression don't look for help because they don't want to be judged and they feel ashamed. Lastly, it can be very harmful if left untreated. First, I will start discussing why depression is considered a weakness. It states in Rush website Last Access 2023, depression is more than just feeling down or having a bad day. It interferes with you daily, with your daily functioning, and can affect people in different ways. Depression is mentally exhausting. From what I personally remember, I experienced a lot of anxiety, panic attacks, and fatigue. It was very hard for me to get out of bed and get ready for the day. Depression is not only a chemical imbalance in our brain, it also has to do with our lifestyle, culture, society, and environment. The lifestyle that we are living in isn't healthy, but we continue to do so because we want people to see us happy. We focus too much on trying to fit in. People expect us to always be happy, and we pretend that we are when that's not the reality. We fake a smile or just simply say, I'm okay. Now let's talk about why people with depression don't look for help. They feel ashamed and don't want to be judged. Depression stigma makes it difficult to accept, and it creates a self-doubt. And they also worry about what others are going to think. People don't want to speak up because no one wants to hear about your depression. According to Mayo Clinic website, people with depression often want to stay home rather than going out to socialize. They tend to isolate to protect themselves and to feel safe. Brock Bastion's article states that in follow-up studies, we found when people experienced negative emotions and felt social pressure, they felt socially disconnected and experienced more loneliness. People with depression shut down and are made believe something is wrong with them. Our culture and society make it much more harder when they assume you can just snap out of it. Depression is real and we need to validate people's feelings. Finally, I'll be talking about what can happen if depression is left untreated. It can terribly end in you and your family. As Mayo Clinic website states, it can have complication with excess weight, obesity, physical illness, alcohol or drug misuse, and much more. People with depression can cause damage to their whole body. It can get worse if it isn't treated. It can lead you to a suicidal feeling, attempt, or suicide. People believe that depression is used as a form of rebellion. Depression is very painful to deal with. Imagine doing it alone. Today we have talked about why depression is seen as weakness and how it negatively affects us. It is a serious disease that can be very harmful. Therefore, we need to end with the stigma of depression.